For more on this, I want to bring in Robert Lacey. He's a royal historian and author and joins us from London. So, Robert, we now have this statement from the Queen about Harry and Meghan's future. Help us read between the lines a bit. What is the palace saying about how this meeting today went?
Well, my first point would not be about what's between the lines, but as we've already heard, about what is in the lines about my family and I. It is a very personal statement from the Queen. I can't recall a statement in which she clearly expresses her feelings so much and finishes it quite sternly by saying, I have asked for final decisions to be reached in the coming days. But that's the message a lot of people are taking over here, that it shows the concern of the Queen. And I take up the point we've just heard, that the commitment to Canada is great news. I think it's great news. But at the moment, it's only attached to the idea of a period of transition. And this, it remains to be seen whether Meghan and Harry will make Canada their full-time base. I mean, my own take on this is that they probably will if it works for them. They've just had that wonderful holiday in Vancouver. I don't think we should see this, what they've said so far, or this message as saying we're going to go back and spend lots of time walking in the countryside in Vancouver. This young couple have got big plans for charity work, for setting up their own foundation, for spreading the ideas they believe in, but they want to do it in their own way. And I think if they find that Canada provides them with the right platform for that, then Canada will remain their base.
So can you get more specific about what you're hearing or what you know? Because obviously there's interest in this country in knowing where in Canada. So they spent time in Vancouver Island. And of course, we know that Meghan spent time here in Toronto working on the television program Suits. Any sense from what you're hearing about where in Canada they could choose to spend a lot of their time?
Absolutely not, Andrew. I'm sorry. But what I can say is that we know, what we do know, and is worth reflecting on, is that the particular model for their lives has become the Obamas. And the Obama Foundation, they've become very close, both with Barack and Michelle. It's already clear that what they want to do is set up a charitable foundation, bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars a year. That's why there's a sentence in the statement saying they've made clear they do not want to be reliant on public funds. So that's how they intend to support themselves. And as I understand it, and I've done a bit of research on this, the foundations that you can set up in Canada follow just about the same patterns. MasterCard has done this, for example, as in America. So if Canada works out as the platform for their foundation, I think Canada can expect them to make Canada their base. But exactly where, Andrew, I can't yet help you with.
Why do you think the Sussexes are moving, at least part-time, to Canada? Were they chased out of Britain?
Well, of course, as we've just heard, they've been denying the idea of friction in the family driving them out. Although actually, again, if you read the details of this statement this morning, they are not denying a rift. After all, Harry openly said in his interview last year in Africa that there was a rift between the brothers. What they are denying is the idea that William has been bullying Harry. So in answer to your question, clearly they don't have the closeness that exists anymore. And there's no doubt at all that if it hadn't been for Meghan, I don't think that Canada would be on the agenda. It's always been thought that in the future, William would specialise in royal duties within Britain, and Harry would specialise in the Commonwealth. And until Meghan came along, it was foreseen that Africa might be his base. Well, Meghan has clearly changed his mind on that.
But why do you think that is? Do you think that Meghan has felt unwelcome, either by the royals, by British people, by the tabloids? I mean, do you think that has been part of the decision-making?
There's no doubt at all about it. Going back to that interview in Africa last year, well, it was actually, Meghan's interview was filmed after Africa. And when Tom Bradby, the interviewer, said, how are you feeling? She said in a very cutting way, well, thank you for asking. Not many people do. And Tom Bradby has since amplified the meaning of that to say that, no, it was specifically she wasn't talking about the Brits. She was talking about the royal family. And obviously, the details of this remain to emerge. But clearly, we used to talk about the Fab Four of William and Kate and Harry and Meghan. That was rather a stunt. And behind the scenes, there are tensions, and that's reflected in there are all sorts of reasons why, apart from Meghan's happy experiences in Canada, it would be very easy for her and Archie and Harry, indeed, to visit California. And who knows, actually finally try and repair some bridges with her alienated father, who's living down there in California, and whom Harry has still to meet.
Do you think that this is bittersweet for the Queen in the sense that the Queen has made her affection for Canada known? It is the country she has visited the most outside of the UK. If they were to choose a place to split their time, would this not be the best place, in a way, in her mind?
I like your word bittersweet, Andrew, yes. Poignancy comes to mind as well. I'm sure, yes. I mean, I can't possibly, the Queen does not have any favourites in any respect. And we're not going to annoy our Australian friends by suggesting that she prefers Canada to Australia, say, or anywhere else in the Commonwealth. But having said that, she does love Canada. I think the fact that this departure is for a Commonwealth country that she knows and loves, and of course, of which she is the sovereign, all of this makes the whole project much more acceptable to her.
Robert, good of you to take the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew, and good luck to you all over there in Canada. We envy you, and but we honestly hope it'll work out well for everybody. Thank you.
Robert Lacey, royal historian and author, speaking to us live from London.